I'm Ali from Creating with Ali and welcome to my craft room. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I do videos around all sorts of crafting. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I do lots of videos around crafting, which include things around Cricut, scrapbooking, card making, painting and drawing. So if you like that, make sure that you give me a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to be updated with any of my future videos, if you should like this one. Today I want to talk to you about embossing folders, particularly these 3D textured impressions embossing folders from Sizzix, and there are a few other companies that make them as well. So let's turn this camera around, get out the big shot machine and see what is happening with these 3D embossing folders. So I like to store all my embossing folders in one of these big tubs. It's a long, narrow one. It's made for CDs. You know, those really old pieces of equipment that we used to play not that long ago. And it has dividers in there, so I've got all my embossing folders packed in. So in here you will find some of the more traditional type embossing folders, which look like so. And then you have these 3D textured embossing folders. I have two of them. I have one here which is the Starfall, and the other that I purchased the other day is the Floral Mandala. So I have two of the 3D ones here. I'm going to play with this Floral Mandala one today and also the Starfall. And just as a comparison, I'm going to pull out one of my favourite ones. I might even use this Flourish one here. I quite like that one. I find that this is a really great way to store my embossing folders. I haven't put in file dividers, and I'll show you my Stampin' Up storage in another video, or my stamping storage in another video I should say, where I've actually made dividers so that I can find things really easily. This one comes with a really handy lid too, so you can clamp it all down and have it stored away properly. So like I said, I was in Spotlight the other day. It's a brief visit to see if I could find an embossing tool for my Cricut, but then I actually came across these textured embossing folders instead. I really like these designs, and I'm a bit of a fan of embossing as it is. I really love to use my big shot machine. I'm still a bit sentimentally attached to that. So basically the differences between the two is that your normal embossing folders emboss at the same depth. So when you put something in here, they emboss at the same depth, and you'll get an embossed and a debossed image with that, but it's all the same depth, whereas this one allows for varying depths, so you get a lot more detail present in the actual embossing itself. So there's layers of embossing that will happen there, and that's essentially the difference between the two. They both work in your standard cutting machines. So in my case, I've got the Big Shot, and you might have an alternate to that. And if you are using this, it's a little bit thicker, so just be careful about the sandwich that you use. Now when I talk about sandwich, I'm not talking about this sort of thing where you have one of these multi-purpose platforms and you have different tabs that you have to read and decide how you're going to use that with the embossing folders that you have. So for me, the one that I use for this is this one here, and I use the embossing folder and I put a plate on top, and that seems to work with these 3D embossing folders. Now I've also mentioned the terms emboss and deboss. So what that means is that when you emboss something, you have the raised side toward you, and a debossed image is when you turn it over and you have that raised bit facing away from you. So that's what those two terms mean. So if you're using card like so, say a piece of just plain cardstock for instance, it doesn't really matter which way you put it inside of your embossing folder, because depending on what look you're looking for, you just turn it over. However, if you are going to be using something like a piece of metallic card or another piece of cardstock that has got the white backing, then you'll need to consider whether or not you want the embossed image raised up towards you, or you want a debossed image facing away from you. And you will determine that by which way you place it into your embossing folder before you put it through your machine. So let's start first with just a simple embossed image using one of the older folders. So I'll put that in there and get my sandwich ready. fact note, I need another piece of the sandwich. I should have known that already. I'm going to need two. I'm going to need to put this in between these two and then put it on top of that platform. That's feeling a lot better. I'm just going to push it through the one time. So this is the plain image. So this is the embossed side, and you can see that it's raised up towards you. If I turn it over, that's the de-embossed side. So you can use either side on your card. There's no problem there. So let's compare that with the 3D textured folder. I'm just going to use the same yellow card in the middle of the embossed folder. This time I'm not using the other acrylic plate at the base. So I've taken that one away. I've just got one sitting on top. Like I said, these folders are a little bit thicker, so you don't need two, but I needed two with the other. So here we are. So this is the image that it makes. It's just beautiful, isn't it? And this is the embossed side, so the side that's raising up. And you can see so much more detail in these images. Even all the little spots and so on in the flowers there. So embossed side, debossed side. Again, you can use either or. That looks fantastic. So let's try the same with some metallic card. So again, just I need both plates for this one because it is thinner. And I absolutely love the look that you get from embossing on metallic papers. So there you go, there's the embossed side. So let's try that same metallic with this textured embossed one. So try and center it a little bit. There we go. Remember, this one just needs that one acrylic plate on top. Through we go. Wow, that's pretty schmick, isn't it? So this alone could be placed on a card with just a bit of embellishment along the top or a sentiment or something stuck on the top of it. It would easily do. Let's take a look at the star one while I'm here. So that one was the floral mandala. This one here is the starfall. Okay, and let's put that through with some silver card. Let's do some silver on this one. So I'm going to pop it in this way. Take a look at that. That's pretty chic. It actually reminds me of the tin sheets that were really popular renovations for kitchens. You know, the foiled roof or the aluminium roof panels that they used to have with these raised embossed designs on them. It's kind of what it reminds me of. So there we are, there's the starfall one. They look great on the metallic. Now, one thing that you can do on these is you can sort of sandpaper a little bit over the top and give it a bit of an aged look. And then perhaps if you get some of that raised white or the white image over the top, you can ink over the top of that. So I'll give that a little bit of a try shortly. I just want to do one more. This time I'm going to turn my card over and just see what a difference I get with this one. Okay, so you can see there we have the raised, and then you have the one where the star's actually going in. So the debossed and the embossed. So let's just put this big shot aside over here for a second. Still get a bit more space here. And let's take this one. Now here's a blast from the past. This is an old basic grey toolkit. I found it when I was cleaning out the craft room the other day. I don't even know whether these files are going to be any good. Look at them, they've been pretty much used up. So what I'm going to do is file over the top. So I'm making that up really nice and good. And let's grab some blue distressed oxide and just see what happens when we run that over the top. Yeah, kind of muted it down a little bit. Don't know if I'm that thrilled with the way that came out. I wonder how it would look with some embossed powder. Let's take a look. We're getting very experimental now. So let's just bring the big shot back, clean it up a bit. Which one? Let's go with, let's use the floral one. And this time, let me see, I'm going to do the Versamark. Oh, this is very experimental. Versamark this. Put my blue card right in the middle. Try not to move it because it's got that ink on it. To the big shot we go. Lay it on top. This is going to be interesting. Alright. I've been successful at getting that everywhere too. See what happens with this. Step bloody on. What a terrific little technique. Love the way that they turned out. All right, so there you have it. Now I'm going to give that a big good clean out. I might take that over the sink actually and give it a bit of a soapy wash because it's had Versamark on there. So there you have that. The inking one, didn't like that at all. The star foil would look great with the same technique done there. Maybe with this one, the raised images, getting those ones Versamarked. And you can still have some fun here with inking and doing just your normal embossing folders as well. So there you have it. You can definitely see the extra detail that you get with these particular embossing folders. They look amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and make these into some cards, and you head across to my blog at www.creatingwithali.com. You'll be able to see the copies of those. I'll also put them up on my Instagram. So there you have it. 3D textured embossing folders. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on other videos where I'm testing out things and having a bit of fun. Tinkering and having fun, that's what it's all about. I'll catch you in the next one.